Okay, before I actually get into anything else, before I actually get into the topic of this video, I genuinely just want to say that I've been extremely blown away by the performance of my last video. Guys, this channel was kind of dedicated to like dumb smash content with like some mental health anecdotes sprinkled in. I never like intended to do travel content. It's just been like a happy accident. Like my Chile video, I went to Santiago with my brother and I just kind of wanted to tell you guys, you know, what I thought of it. I mean, the name of the video was even like a Smash YouTuber's impression of Santiago de Chile, meaning I still kind of wanted to present the video under the brand of someone who's primarily interested in talking about video games. This might have to change. I mean, I'll be real with you guys. I don't do this for money. You know, I'm not monetized yet. I'm pretty close. But this kind of momentum is making me rethink like what I want to do. And there are more trips coming up. I am going to some pretty interesting places that I will want to tell you guys about. But you guys who watched my last video, you Finns, I was genuinely blown away by the kindness. I was blown away by how welcoming you guys were and how much you guys just like the way I pronounce the Finnish language. To me, I don't know, call me crazy, but like if you're not going to pronounce the words right or make an honest attempt, what's really the point? Anyways, I just want to say again, like, thank you. I was extremely touched by your guys' comments. It makes me want to go back even quicker. I know my girlfriend feels the same way. So just once again, thank you guys. Anyways, Deutschland, the land of the Deutsch. So I've wanted to go to Germany for a really long time. I mean, I feel like it was the first country I just really became interested in. Maybe around like 2008, 2009. I think I was about 13 or 14. I really wanted to learn the language. I was like enamored with like the German national soccer teams at the time. You know, the one who had, quite frankly, a memorable performance in 2010. And then, of course, the ones who went on to win the 2014 World Cup. Big fan. I sported the colors, had jerseys. It was awesome, and I really, really wanted to go. So deciding where to go specifically was a bit of a puzzle. I mean, I've kind of been much more about quality than quantity in terms of like where I've actually gone. So like when I stay somewhere, I really want to get to know the place. I want to, you know, go to my favorite restaurant in the area multiple times. I want to get familiar with the area. I want to have like a map of it in my brain, basically. So I really wanted to pick like one city to be my hub, and that was Hamburg. Now, Hamburg is the only non-capital we went to because, you know, last video I talked about Helsinki, and then this time I'm talking about Hamburg. Next time it's going to be Roma. A lot of people said it had a bit more character than Berlin. People were saying maybe it was like a little bit more interesting. And I guess I just want you guys to know, in the context of this video, I'm just speaking from my perspective as someone who really wanted to go to Germany for a really long time, was really looking forward to it, and is realistically also just can't help but make comparisons to the two other countries that I went to. Hamburg wasn't perfect, and I'm gonna get pretty into that just as the video goes on, but I liked it. So getting to Hamburg. So we went to the Helsinki airport and boarded a Finnair flight to Hamburg. There are direct flights, although you will be kind of on one of the smaller planes. It has like 2 seats and then an aisle and then 2 seats. For some reason, there was like a camera crew on the plane going over there. I don't know if they were just like filming something promotional for the airline, but that was just kind of like something funny to see. Like they're bringing the cart down the aisles and like there's a camera behind it. It was kind of cool. Getting to Hamburg, I mean, pretty simple, a pretty decent airport. I don't know if you guys, you know, from your point of view, if the Hamburg airport has a particular kind of reputation or something, but it was good, clean. We caught our Uber and then took about a 35-minute drive to the Altona neighborhood, which is where we were staying. And we stayed at a nice little, you know, what was basically a studio apartment with a balcony overlooking what I believe was Holländische Reiche. Kind of felt, you know, a little bit more small city in that area, like really, really good food options, which I'll definitely like get into like quite a bit more. The area was nice. I mean, like there's a decent amount of graffiti on the walls and stuff like that, but it still feels nice. It felt safe. It was definitely the kind of place I was perfectly happy to make like our headquarters during our stay in Hamburg. Funny thing though, I had actually originally booked us to stay basically about 2 blocks away from the Hamburg Central Station, the Hauptbahnhof. And I changed it because people were saying like, oh, like the central train station is kind of sketchy at night, or it's a little iffy, you know, don't really want to go there. So I'm like, okay, I'll make our base Altona, and they have their own kind of like train station there. Guys, I didn't think the Hamburg Central train station was anything bad at all. I felt 0% sketched out. I'll get into like how we were there later. But the Altona Bahnhof, guys, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, it sucks. It's a pretty massive eyesore. The area just like right around it is like not really as good. There was an IKEA, and you know, like my girlfriend and I were big fans of IKEA. If you watch my Finland video, I talk about how we went to an IKEA there too, and it just kind of like ugly. It's not as much of like the best crowd of people around there all the time. And it was fine. I don't think anything's gonna happen to you, but the train station was kind of meh. So it was just funny that like I ended up changing our accommodations to that area, and we ended up using that train station, and I liked it way less than actually the central train station. But all in all, Altona is like a good neighborhood. There's like actually like some very nice, pleasant walks that you can go on in the area. And again, I mean, the food in that area is like awesome. Good bakeries, good classic German food, good international food, good Döner. You know, they have all that. It's an area that I definitely would recommend, but the train station, not so great. So getting into just like the people, like Germans, I actually found people in general pretty friendly. I did think that maybe, I don't know if like Hamburg isn't as much of an international destination for some people. I don't know if there's as many people from the US going to Hamburg compared to other cities in Germany. I did feel like there were times where people were a little bit impatient with me because I was having a hard time understanding German. One of the things, and this will, you know, I might say more when I talk about food, but there's a Korean barbecue place that we went to called Yakido. And these people, like, it was, in Finland it was different because the people who weren't Finnish, like the people who ran like the Asian buffets, you know, they were Asian and they spoke English. In German it wasn't that way. These people, you know, spoke German, and obviously I have no problem with that. I don't think that there's, you know, any issue. I don't think that the world needs to accommodate to me per se. But like I was like not understanding, and from my view, I think I was like clearly trying my best. Wir haben eine Reservierung, blah, blah, blah. And then they were trying to explain to me how it worked. And I'm like, es tut mir leid, aber ich verstehe es nicht. And they were just kind of like, almost looking at me like, why the fuck don't you understand this? And I don't know if sometimes like my accent can be a little good. I'm not hyping up my German accent. I mean, please, if you guys find this video, like, be honest. Like, I will say other German things in this video, and just like, please tell me, like, if you think it's good or not. And so I got that a little bit there. I got that at a movie theater when I was asking about like an English language showing. In this case, we ended up seeing the movie Hoppers. It was one more time when we saw, and this one I have it coming. I fully acknowledge this is my fault, but we ended up seeing, you know, obviously a German language production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And it was, you know, kind of intermission, and I want to get one of the cups that has the Hogwarts houses on it. And I was like trying them, like, haben Sie Ravenclaw, haben Sie Gryffindor? And they were just like, you know, speaking like pretty quickly. And I was like, langsamer bitte, langsamer bitte. And again, I'm just kind of like looked at like, why don't you understand me? Which, that one, again, I understand, because why am I going to a German language production of Harry Potter if I don't know how to speak German? And I'll explain that later. But in general, I did think, you know, people were very nice. I thought that they were pretty chill. It was a little bit more laid back. I don't know if it's just the fact that, like, you know, it's located on the water and things are a little bit more chill. I liked it. I mean, I do like just kind of, I think, more of like the culture of northern Germany. Although, again, I would really like to go to other places. I know Munich is beautiful, and, you know, I kind of have like a Catholic upbringing, and so maybe to a certain extent there's some of that I'll identify with. But yeah, I thought people were very nice. I thought people were pretty enthusiastic about, you know, their affinity for their city. A lot of people like just really into being from Hamburg, and honestly, I kind of like seeing that wherever I go. So, favorite restaurants, and I'm gonna say that my favorite meal that I had was actually at this, you know, German place called Hatari, which is in the Altona neighborhood. Pretty easy to access, you know, from the train station. Really freaking good food. That was actually the first place I ever had an Aperol Spritz, and I'm having one right now, and this is a preview for my Italy video, which is coming next. I had the schnitzel, and it came with pommes, fries, and it was just to die for, man. It was so good, so perfectly crispy. Oh my God, I could eat that any day. I would be in the mood for that any day. My girlfriend got, I think, you know, 2 bratwurst. They were really good too. I tried some of it. It came with kind of this like pickle-infused Kartoffelsalat, potato salad. And Oh god, I love the flavor of that. I love sauerkraut. I love the freaking pickled potato salad. I feel pretty at home with like German food. It's just extremely comforting to me. So that was great. The people there were super, super nice. I had thought that I like lost my key to my Airbnb, and everyone was just like so like, oh, like let's find it. They were so accommodating. You know, no one was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Which, you know, I know it's kind of a low bar, but I did enjoy that. And they did, you know, kind of level with me up with my language abilities and all that sort of stuff. And really cool people. I would honestly recommend going if you guys happen to be in the area. Another one, which I mentioned earlier, was Yakido. It was like a Korean barbecue place. The waiters, I mean, besides the ones who were kind of yelling at me for not understanding German, were really nice. One of them tried to speak Spanish with us, which me and my, you know, girlfriend, we both can speak Spanish. And so that was a little bit cool too. Food was really good. I mean, love the kind of, you know, cook your food yourself phenomenon. Lots of good options that also just weren't the conventional meat options. They have the thing where, you know, you can like get lettuce wraps and then you just like put all your food in there. I like that. I haven't been to a Korean barbecue in America that does that. I normally do like rice as a side or rice paper, you know, where you like put the meat in there, but lettuce honestly works and like it's kind of healthier, I assume. So definitely bonus points for that. And also it's located near Hafen City, which is probably one of my favorite parts of Hamburg. And I would recommend you guys just like hang out in that area. It's pretty cool. And there's like a mall there that's nice. You have the Miniatur Wunderland, which we also went to. I would absolutely recommend spending more time in Hafen City. Another place, I mean, we went to this place twice. One location is also in Altona called Burger Heroes. It's actually kind of funny and maybe a little bit poetic that our first meal in Hamburg was a hamburger. It was so good. I got like the freaking like barbecue bacon burger or something. The fries were awesome. There's like a good amount of like dip options. Really good, just really good vibes. Tiny place. I mean, if you can get a table, congratulations. We were like barely able to get one. And we also went to the location later on in the Reeperbahn, which that's kind of its own story, and I will comment on that later. Also, guys, I mean, feel free to get just like kind of street food. If you're in Hamburg or anywhere near the area, you're gonna see places where you can get fish blitchen, which is basically, you know, fried fish on a roll. You can also get like sausage on a roll, and it's a little bit different. I mean, you won't really see like the hot dog buns that we're kind of used to as Americans with that, but like, please try it. The sausages in Hamburg, very, very, very nice. And I don't know where it ranks compared to like where the sausages, you know, rank in other parts of Germany, but I was extremely impressed. Definitely no complaints from your boy. And also in major German cities, there's a lot of good Turkish food. There's a lot of Turkish immigrants in Germany. And I would recommend that you get a good döner. I was able to find one. I mean, one place that I went to was actually kind of at the food court at like the Westfields in Hafen City. And that was really delightful. Fries were kind of mid, but the döner was just like really, really good. I love that. I love Greek food, Turkish food, and you know, if I can get my hands on it wherever I am, I'm always in favor of that. I swear, this isn't me just trying to like hype myself up. Again, please, you guys can like be the judges of my accents. But I was at a bus stop and I was actually wearing this scarf, which is, you know, a nice Hamburg scarf that I actually got at the Miniatur Wunderland, which I'll touch on in just a second. But this is, you know, specifically for Hamburger Sportverein, I think they call it. We went to a game. I'll talk about that too. But I'm at the bus stop and I'm just like wearing this. And a guy asked me in German and he's like, "Geht dieser Bus nach somewhere?" And then I'm just like, "Oh, es tut mir leid, aber ich weiß nicht." And he like chuckles and like laughs and he's like, "Oh, aber du bist von hier, oder?" And I'm just like, "Nein, ich komme aus die Vereinigten Staaten." And then he's like, "Oh," and then he comments on my scarf and he's like, "Du hast gut gewählt." I think that's how you say it, because I think that's what he said. Like, you've chosen well. And my German team actually isn't Hamburg specifically. Don't ask me why, but my favorite German team has always been Borussia Mönchengladbach. I would probably have to go to Cologne, to get a little bit closer to them. But in terms of Hamburg, I mean, like, this is the team that I picked. This isn't a political-based channel. I'm not really interested in political commentary. But I think y'all at St. Pauli are probably a little bit too liberal for me. I mean, actually, if you happen to be a fan and you're not, like, far left, I mean, I'm kind of interested in knowing what that's like. I mean, is it okay? Do you sort of, like, not really talk about it? Because it seems like they're, as a club, kind of really in, your face about leftism. And again, I'm gonna ask you guys to just be like respectful to each other in the comments, because I've had like fights break out in one of my videos before. This is just like a little bit more reasonable for me and just like a little bit more comfortable. Take from that what you will. So highlights of the trip. So one of the first highlights, and this is what everybody who goes to Hamburg is going to be telling you about, but is the Miniatur Wunderland. And guys, words do not do this place justice. It kind of looks like it's in this industrial building that's kind of by the harbor, and you don't really know necessarily what you're getting into in terms of what's inside. It's unbelievable. It's so cool. They have like insanely detailed displays of like Las Vegas, of different parts of Germany, of other parts of Europe. I mean, the Rome ones, the Vatican, were unbelievable. They had Brazil. I think they're working on like the, what would it be? Patagonia section, which I love because, you know, part of that is Chile, and I love Chile. I've been there. Guys, this place it's stunning, and then they dim the lights periodically, and then all the stuff comes to life as if it's all happening at night. And I think the biggest, most mind-blowing thing for me was they had what was basically a fully functioning airport, and the cars move just on their own, and there's really funny displays with like what the people are doing. There's so many just like little people, and the flights literally take off from the airport, and they kind of go into the wall, and then they come back, and it'll be like, oh, next flight departing is this with this airline. It's so cool. The artistry of this was unbelievable. I felt like I was robbing them blind, because price of admission I think was something like 22 euros.
Nailed it.
I'm like, this art is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm only paying this much. So please go to the Miniatur Wonderland. You know, it's not like a tourist trap. Like, please go. There's no way you will regret having gone. Another thing that I want to mention, and this I was super excited about, was I really wanted to go to a soccer game. And I had long suspected, based on just what I had seen, because if you look at my like Spain video, I go to a Champions League game between Atletico Madrid against Eintracht Frankfurt. And I was extremely impressed by the passion and the energy of the Frankfurt fans. And I was just like, you know, I have a suspicion these Germans are on a complete other level. And they are. So keep in mind, I planned this trip like 6 or 7 months in advance. Like before I went to Spain, like we're talking like August. And I went to the game, which was Hamburg against Köln. And so the only tickets that were available 7 months before were away tickets. So I had to sit in the Köln standing only section. Never done that before. I've never had any kind of like sporting experience that was like that. All the Hamburg tickets were sold. And I'm not surprised. I mean, this was and is Hamburg's first season back in the Bundesliga for several years. So right there, I mean, these are fans who are like super, super committed. And obviously I'm going to be showing this stuff. You guys can see stuff that's on the screen. But this is hell of a lot different than Spain. Like the Atletico Madrid stadium, it's like new and it's like family friendly, and they don't really like allow alcohol in the stadium. It's just kind of sanitized. I'm not saying I have an issue with that. I'm fine with what it's like to go to an Atletico game, but this is so different. You have like smoke just everywhere, people going crazy. There's a lot more security. It almost felt like we had to have like a security escort as away fans going into the section. And I wasn't wearing anything because I was kind of, you know, I was there in Hamburg and I'm going to like support Hamburg silently. I will not make any noise when and if they score. And so the Köln fans, they were like very intense, cheering very loudly. I mean, you are a pretty big fan if you just like are making the trip to go to a game like this. The environment was pretty insane. A lot of beer being drank and kind of spilled around me. And I don't know if I'd been like manhandled like that. When they scored, like you had this guy, he doesn't know me, and I'm like not saying anything to him. He's just like putting his hand like on my chest and like looking at me like, yeah. And I'm just like smiling and I'm like, yeah, los geht's, you know? Again, my German is not amazing. I know how to say a few things. I can understand a little bit. But that was a pretty wild experience. And just as a word of advice for anyone who's like, who needs to go to a German soccer game, For Hamburg specifically, transportation can be a little tricky. If you're going to Uber, get there early. If you're going to Uber away from the match, you probably have to walk a little bit from the stadium. I mean, that's what we had to do to kind of be able to get out of there. Security doesn't really let people get too close. But honestly, what an experience. Standing for the whole game was kind of interesting. It was cool. I liked it. I had never been to a soccer game as an away fan before. And this, I mean, honestly, it was like extremely enlightening. The game ended 1-1. Good game. I mean, this isn't the same as seeing, like Champions League per se. But they were two competent, like mid-table teams. And, I thought they both played pretty well. And the energy from both sides was extremely cool. Probably the most intense environment I'd ever been in. Another highlight was our day trip. And this is where we ended up at the Hauptbahnhof. And so we went to the nearby city of Lübeck, and that was pretty delightful. I mean, very charming city. You get a little bit more of just like, I think, old Germany compared to Hamburg. Hamburg is a beautiful city. There are definitely parts of it that can be like a little bit more of an eyesore, just look a little bit more regular. But keep in mind, I mean, the Allies bombed the shit out of Hamburg, during the war. And they kind of had to rebuild quickly in a lot of German cities, and I know Cologne is like this too, where they kind of focus more on like efficiency as opposed to reproducing aesthetics. But there are plenty parts of the city that just do look and feel nice. But I did kind of want to see what Germany was like outside of just the big city, because Hamburg was, really like the only big city that we went to. Lübeck was charming. We went to a cafe. I had some Apfelschorle, like classic German beverage. Another thing, just getting around, I don't think we have this in America, but if you open the Uber app in Europe, you can actually use it to rent Lime scooters. I'd never used one of those before. I feel like when they became kind of ubiquitous in America, they were, all over the place, and a bunch of YouTubers were just making fun of people who use them. And I just want to be like, I'm not going to use one of those. I'm not going to be one of the lame people on a scooter. But it's actually extremely fun. And so we did do that in Hamburg, and we did do that in Lübeck also. And it was just a good way to get around. And, I thought the drivers in Germany were overall like relatively careful. At least, again, just in my experience, I didn't feel unsafe, riding a scooter in the street. There were a good amount of other people doing it too. Lübeck, pretty calm, a much slower pace. You're not going to hear as much English if you're an American. So again, I say this in every video. If you're going to go to one of these countries, I encourage you to learn a little bit of the language just as like a gesture of respect. You're kind of going into somebody else's home, and it's nice for them to be able to see that you're trying. We also kind of wanted to take a trip within the trip, and we took the train to Timmendorf Strand, which, Germany doesn't have a pretty big coastline, so I was just like, oh, going to a German beach, like that's really cool. So we went, and I think this is where a bunch of rich people live. It was so calm, so peaceful, it felt extremely safe. We walked from the train station to the beach. It was like so relaxing. It was like so calm. And the beach itself was pretty nice. Lots of people just walking around, taking their evening stroll. I think more stuff is open around the beach. Like there's an aquarium. I think that's open more during the day. By the time we got there, it was like late afternoon, kind of dinner time. So we ended up going to a sushi restaurant for dinner, actually, I think called Samoa. And I think that's where, as opposed to everywhere we went on this trip, I feel like that's where we felt the most like we didn't belong there. Again, I'm not saying people were like not welcoming, but when we went to this restaurant, like the waiter spoke English, and so we're speaking English with the waiter. And like anytime he comes over to our table, we're just like, can I have this, please? I'll do this. And the restaurant everywhere around us just gets like kind of quiet, and people are like listening to what we're saying. And I think it's because, they don't hear it a lot. They're not expecting people speaking English with American accents to necessarily be there. Like, do Americans know about Timmendorf Strand? I don't really know. I think I found it online as a possible good day trip from Hamburg. I wanted to check it out. And, the more negative interpretation of that is them saying like, oh shit, like these Americans discovered, one of our secrets. I'm not saying that that's what they were thinking, but that was kind of an interesting experience to have. That like main street there has like a bunch of little shops and other restaurants. I'm sure that's a really good place to live. And if I just kind of wanted to just go away from like the bustle of the city for a little bit, I can't think of a better place I would want to be than like around that beach. Super calm. When we were there, it's kind of like this is the same sort of body of water that we had gone into when we were in Helsinki and we dipped into the Baltic. So cool. Honestly, I would recommend Timmendorf Strand. Very peaceful, very cool. And yeah, if you're like a local or, you know, if you're a German, I'm kind of curious about your commentary on that. One little thing that I did kind of want to treat you guys to is I did mention the scooters is kind of like a little competition that me and my girlfriend had. So we would kind of leave the apartment and we would pick like a central location and we would be like, oh, we're going to take different transportation methods to get here. We'll see who gets there first. So here is kind of just like some footage on my end of me attempting to take the U-Bahn while she was taking the bus. All right, guys, I'm in the Hamburg S-Bahn and I got a little competition going with Vertigo. We're trying to get to a movie theater. We're going to see Hoppers and I'm taking the train and she's taking the bus and we're going to see who gets there first. I've been running around in a little bit of a circle just because I couldn't see where to take the U4, but we're going to find it and we're going to see if I win. All right. This is Hamburg. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Good news, guys. I found it. I'll let you know if I win. Guys, devastating update. Shortly after I filmed my last video, Vertigo sent me a picture of herself already here. And I think if I hadn't been so focused on doing the video, I wouldn't have gotten lost and I would have got on an earlier train. But we're here. This is Hafen City, Hamburg. It's very nice. There are a lot of stores and cool places, and we're about to see Hoppers, which I've heard is actually not that bad, but I'll let you guys know how it is. But this has been great, and I hope you keep enjoying the video. Okay, cool. Peace. And so I ended up losing that one. I did end up winning the second one, but public transportation in Hamburg is really good. The app for like tracking the bus times and everything, really good. It was accurate. The buses were pretty much on time for the most part, which people were saying that like there's like a stereotype where like German buses or transportation don't really leave on time. But I mean, no complaints from me, honestly. The train was pretty good. I mean, pretty clean. I had no issues, you know, with that at any point. Scooting, again, using the scooters is not a bad method of transportation, and it probably isn't going to cost you a whole lot. I think the longest trip I had, which was kind of like going from like Altona, you know, where the apartment was, going all the way to Hafen City, which is where I was going in the video I just showed you. I think that whole trip was maybe 5 or 6 euros. And I even like made like stops and stuff because it was windy and raining, and I had to like put on it, like get off the scooter, open my backpack, you know, like put my hood on, and then, you know, kind of get going. So you can't really go wrong. I mean, definitely don't avoid the buses. At least, again, in my experience, they're pretty good and they worked really well. Just to make another comment about Hafen City, very clean. The mall's pretty good. The movie theater is sick. I will say this about the movie theater though, because it was, shit. What was the movie theater called? Oh, it was called Kinopolis. Yes, that's the one that was the one that was in Hafen City. I mentioned this in my last video, but the popcorn in Finland was phenomenal. It satisfied my American craving for disgusting movie concessions. Guys, I'm so sorry, but I got a sweet popcorn and my girlfriend got the salty popcorn at Kinopolis. That was basically inedible. It was so bad. I don't think I had ever had popcorn that bad in my entire life. Loved you, Germany. I love the food, but for the love of God, I'm gonna need you guys to do a little bit better with the popcorn. We went to the Lego store and made like custom little Lego minifigures. It was a good experience, and it was just really cool, like designing it and seeing it get printed out. And, you know, like they call your name, like, oh, I have like a figure for this person. And you get to like add like accessories and stuff. And I think it's $12. And guys, here he is. It's not focusing. Wait. How do I? Fuck it, I'll just do this. There you go. This is little Vertigo, and I don't know if you can see, but right there God, why is it so hard? Right here is a fish brötchen, which I mentioned before. Right there is a pretzel or bretzel. And, you know, I bring the music. Yeah, got the boombox, whatever. Got my name on the bottom. And, yeah. It also says, I don't know if you can tell, but it also says Moin. Which is kind of just like a casual local Hamburg greeting. Fun fact, it was actually kind of fitting for Hamburg to be the sequel to Finland, because one way in which Finns greet each other is they'll say moi, M-O-I, and in Hamburg it's moin. But it's not universal in Germany. Like, if you go to souvenir stores in Hamburg, a lot of them are like shirts that say moin. It's very characteristic of the area, and it's cute and it's endearing, and I just like that as a greeting. Moin, 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 moin. Would recommend. Cool experience. Finally, the Reeperbahn. So this is kind of like the red light district of Hamburg. I mean, there's like a lot of history associated with it. The Beatles kind of were really big there. A lot of rock bands during that time kind of lived in Hamburg, I think, and kind of became big through that Hamburg scene. It is kind of an extremely fascinating area. I mean, there's a lot of interesting characters. You see the food is really good. We went to Burger Heroes, but also there's just like a lot of places. Like there's this one place, I forgot what it's called, but they just, like the only thing that they have is like sausages and rolls. And you see people gather there like on game days. I think a good place to also just like watch a soccer game too. Because we went before, like the same day, we went to the soccer game, the Hamburg versus Köln. Lots of Köln fans there. And I think it was just like a really good place to hang out and engage with other supporters and stuff. I don't know if it's the kind of place I would want to hang out all the time. I'm sure the food and alcohol is good. And even if for some reason vices aren't your thing, there's actually a good amount of other stuff to do in the Reeperbahn as well. I mentioned the Beatles and rock, and there's like the Beatles Platz, where you kind of get to see where they started their career. There's like the Wax Museum. There's like other places. Street food, really good, as I just said. There's also the Fischmarkt, which I think is open like only Sundays pretty early. Kind of like just a cultural tradition that's lived on until this point. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, even if you're not really into that sort of thing visually. But honestly, I think you should probably just get to say that you experienced it and actually got to like spend some time there and just see who was around and people watch, because it's a little bit different than, let's say, if you're hanging out at like Hafen City. Oh, and Harry Potter. So we went to a German language production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I thought it was really awesome. It was a bit of a 50-50 thing between me and my girlfriend, because she doesn't speak any German, but she's seen the show before. So she kind of like already knows what's happening, even if she can't really understand it. Me, I can understand, like if you say something in German, I can probably understand like 30 or 40% of what you're saying. And so I'm like still able to kind of like follow along and see what was going on. At the end of the day, I think I understood it pretty well. The venue was really cool. I got a nice illusionist gin and tonic before going in. It fit the theme of just like magic and everything. One little funny thing about Germans, I don't know if this is all the time, but at the end of a show, and I just went to a couple here in the US, when people are like clapping, you know, for the performers when the show's over, in America, it's kind of like disjointed. People are kind of going at their own rhythm. In Germany, and I feel like this is the most German thing of all time, everyone's kind of just like clapping at the same rhythm. It's so orderly, and it's kind of weirdly extremely cool, yet also slightly unsettling. It's like everybody there understands the assignment and just kind of just like go at one pace. I liked being part of it. I mean, I wasn't gonna just, you know, be an individual and clap at my own pace. I joined it, and I forgot that the production was like 4 hours or something. It's a long show, really, really good. At this point, it's probably not running anymore, but you know, go check it out. It was a really good show. And one more thing we did, just to kind of cap off this little section here, but we did do a river cruise, which was really nice. The cruise was in German, but like the person was extremely friendly, kind of like took us all around, and all that stuff is like really cool. Seeing at the harbor, seeing kind of like the skyline, seeing the iconic Elbphilharmonie, and then also you have like the whole like Lion King theater set up over there, where I think they do a lot of shows. I think they're also doing like some kind of like Michael Jackson show also currently. So in terms of theater, which I'm like pretty big into, there's a lot of good theater in Hamburg, and if like that's kind of your thing, I mean, please check it out. There's probably a lot of options. The price ranges are quite different. I mean, for the Harry Potter show, I think I only paid like $50 a ticket. Other ones are pretty expensive. If it's your thing, go crazy. Hamburg has like genuinely some pretty cool theater, and I didn't see a lot of people talking about that before. Now, just a couple like concluding comments that I want to say is that I know you might notice that the name of this video is like an American's like letter to Germany compared to Finland, which I said love, compared to Spain, which I said love. Hamburg was great. I mean, I really enjoyed my time and would be very happy to go back. German big cities have such an interesting and up and down history where I don't always know what I'm looking for. As I said it to start out the video, I like really wanted to go to Germany and kind of like have a quintessential like German experience while exploring the other sides of the city. Like, for example, getting sushi and Korean barbecue during like the 7.5 days we were there. That's kind of part of like exploring the margins, right? But I felt like I had to work a little bit harder to find magic walking around the city. That's not to say I didn't like it, but I think maybe the neighborhood that I stayed in had something to do with it. I definitely felt that in like Hafen City. I felt it near the, what's it called? The City Hall, Rathaus, as they would say. But I think that there were a lot of parts of the city that we went to, and I thought it was just like a little bit bland. It's like I wasn't 100% sure I could tell I was in Germany. And I'm not saying that's like inherently bad. Things change, things get different. But also, and again, this isn't a political commentary channel, but there's a lot of migrants that have been brought into Germany over the last several years. And that inevitably, again, regardless of what your stance is just going to change the makeup of the country. It's going to change how things look. It's going to change how city blocks end up evolving over time. And I think in Finland and Italy, it was a little bit more clear to have just the culture of the country just like slapping you in the face all the time. In Germany, it wasn't that. And I'm going to be completely self-aware and say that there could be a discrepancy between what my expectations were versus what the place actually is. Hamburg is a big city. It's a little bit cosmopolitan. There's a lot of different kinds of people there. But I do think if you're looking for something that feels classically German, you're going to have to look a little bit harder to find it. And, you know, if you go to something like Lübeck, I know the classic small German city to like experience German magic is Heidelberg, which I haven't been to, and I would really like to go there as well. But that is to say, I loved my time in Germany. My girlfriend loved her time in Germany. I would be extremely excited to go back. I'll probably go to, you know, Munich or Köln, because I would also want to see a Gladbach game probably at some point. But honestly, I will say this to conclude also. I mean, you know, Germans, you guys treated us really well. We felt very welcome in the country. It was awesome just getting to explore a new place. It had scratched a very long time itch that I had, just really wanting to go to Germany and wanting to experience the country. I'm still learning German. I'm still doing Duolingo. I'm still going to be doing private lessons. It is kind of what I want to be my third language. So feel free to engage with me in German in the comments. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you again for watching this video. Germans, if you guys find me, hallo. Wie geht es euch? Thank you for watching the video. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with everything that I said. I promise, you know, it's coming from a good place. I was super excited about this place. I definitely would go back. And I think next time I do, I'll probably make more time to actually plan to see at least a handful of cities and, you know, maybe focus a little bit more on just like quantity over quality. Anyways, thank you again. And Germans, you know, thank you guys for the time. If you're from Hamburg specifically, thank you very much. Sincerely, very, very, very much enjoyed your city, and I look forward to coming back. All right, cool. Peace, guys.